So we are out here on another run out here doing this craziness for all of you guys to simply sit back, watch, and enjoy. So, for you, as you embark on your own personal fitness journey, I know that I have, and along the way I've learned plenty of new things, new tips and tricks, new ways to go about the fitness journey. And by doing so, there's plenty of things that I wish I knew before I went out and started doing it. And that's okay, because in today's video we will give it to you, give you some of the things that I wish I knew before I started. And without further ado, we're gonna give you 4 things that I wish I knew before I started my fitness journey. And here we go. Without further ado, we will go into tip number 1, or thing number 1 before starting our fitness journey, and that is to check your ego out at the door. All right, for many people, when they walk into the gym, and very many, they can go years and years still doing this, right? They can go into the gym and have, be wrapped up in their own egos. Right, I'm the best. Right, no one can be better than me. I'm gonna outlift everyone in this gym. And while that may help you a little bit, right, you want to lift some more weight, you get pushed by seeing other bigger, stronger, faster people in there, but it can come from the wrong place. And if you don't watch yourself, if you don't watch exactly what you're doing, you can get hurt, and that's not good. So coming from that place of ego, right, wanting to prove yourself, right, to assure yourself that you are the best person there. And it's very hard to do, right? For every gym, there's only one spot for that one person, and even so, it's still very subjective, right? Think about the greatest player of all time debate, right? People are still arguing about who's the greatest basketball player of all time, and greatest quarterback, anything. So for many, there's not even a particular greatest of all time. It's subjective. So what you can do at the very least is disconnect yourself from that argument. I know plenty of those players that are wrapped up in that. They don't think about that. They just think about showing up and performing. And when you're in that gym, do that, right? Take that into account, because by you getting distracted, by your head getting wrapped up in all of that nonsense, right, which is what it is at the end of the day, you are going to not do well, right? Your mind is going to be in the wrong places. It's not going to be thinking so much about your biceps and your form and whether or not you're hitting them correctly, and and so forth, right? You're getting the right amount of rest. No, it's hard to think about that while you're thinking about everyone else in the gym and whether or not they notice you working out or what they think of you, right? Because many times too, it could even be for insecurity, right? And that is tip number 2, or thing I wish I knew before I started working out, right? Because I had my ego phase, but I'll say that phase came out after I really started working out. It took some time to get worked into that situation, right? It was a couple months down the road when I started seeing some progress, which is when I started to compare myself to other people and really want to be the best one there and get insecure about that. But there's a whole new insecurity, and that's what we will talk about in tip number 2. As far as tip I wish I knew before I started the gym, and that is, people don't care about you or your form. Because oftentimes when I first started, I was very insecure when it came to my form and my weak body, right? I was skinny, I was weak, I didn't have any muscle. And seeing those other people there with those huge big biceps and so forth made me feel inferior. I didn't feel like I was enough, and that hurt, right? It didn't feel the best for me, and it made me want to stop going to the gym altogether, because I felt that I would never reach these people's levels. And they were looking at me, judging me, and critiquing me, and seeing me as a small, inferior person. And You know, especially with the women there, right? I thought about that, right? I thought, you know, these chicks must be laughing at this skinny dude who can't lift weight like these big dudes. And, you know, that was completely wrong. You know, everybody is there doing their own thing. And yes, while some may have egos and others don't, nobody really cares about what you're doing in there, besides probably your friends that you came in with inside there. So, you know, from that, take that into account, right? Really think about that, and don't get so wrapped up into the opinions of other people, because they're insignificant at the end of the day, and oftentimes they don't even have one, right? So from that, hello, what's up? You know, from that, it doesn't really matter, right? Just go about your business, do your own thing, and you know, whatever people say or think doesn't really matter. It doesn't really affect you, right? Still your workout at the end of the day, and you gotta do it. So, you know, now we are gonna go to tip number 3, or thing I wish I knew before I started working out, and that was, you know, to go and get help from other people, right? Ask other people in the gym, right? Or simply just watch what they're doing and copy them, because I was stubborn. I, you know, really wanted to do my own thing. For me, I thought my way was the best. And you know, if you truly think about it, you know, what are the chances of that happening, right? Of you magically stumbling upon the best workout in the world that's gonna give you the best results and make you feel the best about yourself. You know, it's probably more or less than 1 in a million. That's like hitting the lottery. So just by knowing that, you gotta be open, you know, to critiques, to people, you know, telling you what you're doing right or wrong, or you critiquing yourself, and that's the big thing, right? Don't get so wrapped up in how you feel about yourself, right? Leave yourself open, you know, and vulnerable to getting hurt per se, right? To getting judged. Judge yourself, that's the big thing, because if you're not doing that, you're gonna have no idea when you're messing up and doing the wrong thing, or you could simply be doing something better and not know it. And you know, from that, you're gonna start to see growth, right? Because you are making these adjustments, you're making these changes that you gotta make in order to get better, right? Those little things that you do, those little tweaks can mean so much. And you know, from that, you're gonna see that progress, right? A lot of times, it's those little things that we do that mean everything. So, you know, if you do that, right, take in the opinions of others and get better and learn and be, like I say, like a piece of clay, right? You keep molding into new things, right? New types of workouts, and you know, not do the same thing over and over again, right? Because after a while, it becomes nonsense, it becomes almost useless. So be receptive to change, and you will start to see significant improvements. So now for you, we will go into tip number 4. Number 4, as far as thing I knew before I started working out, and that was that choice. Let's see. Oof. About the importance of compound exercises, because far too often I did like only bicep curls, or you know, simply tricep presses, right? I would just focus on one muscle at a time, and while that may be great, especially later on when you're not seeing these changes, you're not seeing significant progress, you want to isolate these portions of your body, yes, so you can work on them on their own. But you know what can expedite your process, make it a lot faster, make it a lot easier, is to, you know, do compound exercises, right? Do push-ups, do pull-ups, right? Do things that essentially work out multiple areas of your body at once, right? That push-up is not only just gonna work out your chest, but it's gonna work out your triceps, it's gonna work out your shoulders, right? And you know, even depending on how you're doing them, can improve things like your wrist strength and your forearms. So, you know, knowing that, taking that into account, you will know to do those compound exercises, especially at the beginning of your workout when you're first getting started, right? To get those muscles going, right? Because you want to hit all of them at once. And then from that, you can go into isolation moves, right? Those bicep curls and so forth. And from that, you'll be really able to fatigue those muscles and start to see growth in those areas. And you know, from that, these are the 4 things that I wish I knew before I went upon or I embarked upon my fitness journey. And you know, had I known them, I probably would have made a lot more progress, done a lot of more great things. But you know, hopefully you can do them. But that would make my day, is if you can do these adjustments and not prevent yourself from falling prey to that. So now for you, as always, we say thank you very much for watching this video, and you know, goodbye.